Hey, this is Bottom Shelf Podcast, episode number 5. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Mikey.
And this is our comedy podcast about everything and nothing. Thanks for listening. Mikey, how's your week been? How have you been?
It has been swell. I saw that there Spider-Man Homecoming this weekend. And let me tell you, it was fantastic. And dare I say, the best Spider-Man film.
The best Spider-Man, better than 2.
I think so.
Ooh.
A lot of people I keep seeing being like, no, Spider-Man 2 is still the best. But to me, as far as just straight interpretation of the character and what I want to see out of Spider-Man, Homecoming blows it out of the fucking water.
Nice.
I think Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus is still a better villain.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Michael Keaton is fantastic and the best villain in a Marvel movie since Loki, probably.
Oh, shit.
He actually has motivations, and it's nice having a villain that's not trying to destroy the world or take over anything. He just wants to steal shit. It's little things like that that just make such a difference, because Spider-Man's villains are usually never meant to be these, like, large-scale destruction, like, powerhouses, like in Amazing Spider-Man 2 when they made Electro, like, fucking blowing up Times Square and shit. And
yeah.
It's like... And his motivation was that Spider-Man forgot his name or something. Whereas now it's like, there's proper motivation for the Vulture in this, and all he wants is to steal stuff to make money. Same with, like, Shocker's just his shitty goon.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have a, like, nice low-level superhero movie for once.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't feel like every other Marvel movie.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing it tonight. But I bet, like, what you're saying is it feels more, like, personal.
Yeah.
Less, like, way too grand scale, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. That I will say the trailers did show way too much of the action stuff, but which I think is the weakest part of the movie. I think all the high school stuff,
really good,
and character interactions with Peter and his friends is the highlight.
Awesome.
Donald Glover for the bit he's in it is fantastic. He's barely in it. He's in, like, one scene, but he's so good.
Awesome.
It's all these little setups, like the supporting cast in this movie, like Martin Starr is one of the teachers, Hannibal Buress. It's just exciting to know that they can bring these people back to give them more to do in future movies. Because even in the, like, 2-second scenes they're in, they're fantastic. Same with Zendaya as her character, Michelle, is great, and she's barely in it. She has, like, 5 lines. But they're all great. No sign of most, like, there's no Harry, no Gwen, no Mary Jane.
Wow.
No characters. It's like they went through a list of shit done in old Spider-Man movies and were like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's avoid every, like, thing these people have seen. No fucking Uncle Ben.
Yeah, get
none
Ben
of the
out of
same
there.
shit. And it worked out real well. I was super happy. I'm a fucking loser who loves Spider-Man, so it's like, it was just so nice to see them not fuck it up for the first time in, like, over 10 years.
Yeah, I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably one of my favorite of those Marvel movies now, just because it feels like a fun high school movie that happens to have superheroes in it.
Yeah.
It's great. But besides from that, I've been watching that Netflix Castlevania.
Yeah? Have you finished it?
No, I watched the first 2
I
episodes.
finished it. Well, it takes, like, 2 seconds.
Exactly.
It's like the length of a movie.
It
2
seems
hours.
like it was just a movie that they cut up into a series because I think their series are more popular than movies.
That makes sense now that you say it.
I like the first 2 episodes. I was like, why is it that the best thing to come out of Castlevania in 20 years
isn't a game?
Yeah.
I
I was like, this is just a super cool retelling of Castlevania 3.
Yeah.
Why couldn't this have been in a game? Like, have these scenes be cutscenes? Why can't fucking Warren Ellis write a game?
Because Warren Ellis is too busy doing comics and...
I will say, it felt a lot like a comic.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. It's been like a lot of the talking scenes, I'm like, this is a comic book.
The dialogue especially.
Yeah. I liked it a lot.
I don't know, I liked it and then really liked it when episode 3 hit.
Okay.
Because I don't like Trevor that much.
Oh.
Actually, I think I don't like the cocky drunk character.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, this has been done so much.
Yeah, what's the girl's name?
Sypha.
Yeah, her and Alucard go with him, right? That's what happens.
And Grant, there's supposed to be 4 in Castlevania 3. There's 4.
Really?
You meet a guy named Grant.
Oh.
I don't know if he goes with you.
Okay.
I don't know. Well,
yeah, I thought because in Symphony of the Night you fight like the ghosts of all the
Belmont
people,
clan, yeah.
You fight like the Sifa or whatever, and Trevor's, and
Trevor,
it's
Simon.
super cool.
Yeah.
Even though I never played 3, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes, it's like you can definitely see where budget came into things. In a few scenes, the animation definitely takes a dive. And but I love just seeing them not hold back anything, like having demons just murder babies and children and shit. I'm
straight up.
I was like, okay, it'll be violent, but whatever. And then immediately they show a dead kid ripped in half.
Yeah, I was like, holy fuck.
I mean, cool.
There was a point that I loved so much. It's just like Dracula standing there, and then the camera angle is like looking up at him.
Yep.
And the artwork, like the hand drawn, is almost exactly the same as like a Symphony of the Night or actual Castlevania artwork. It's so cool.
See, part of me is like, I hope this brings enough attention to Castlevania that they try to make another game, but at the same time...
Yeah, I thought they were... trying to make another Castlevania game. Yeah. I thought you were going to say, like, more games to series.
No, but at the same time, Konami, what they're doing doesn't instill confidence that they can make... Like, I just want another 2D, like, Metroidvania-style Castlevania game, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And if it does, they'll just get some shitty company that's cheap to do it. Like the last time they did that 3DS one, and it was really bad. Just need to face the facts that Konami will make pachinko machines. Maybe they'll make a Metal Gear Netflix series. That'd be cool. But really, what's the point? Because it'll just be
the
like,
games.
Yeah, like how they did those comics that were just retellings of the games.
Oh yeah.
Actually, how I've always wanted a remake of Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 as games, doing like an animated series would be really cool.
Oh yeah,
that would be awesome.
And
bringing in all the stuff they added in Phantom Pain, like that in Metal Gear 1, it's Venom, not actual Big Boss. Like doing shit like that in it would be really cool.
Spoiler for
oh no,
for 2-year-old
game now. I'm sure someone will be real upset.
Yeah.
They'll know that Venom's not the real Big Boss, which everyone guessed before the game even came out.
Didn't he try and cover it and be like, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it. But deep down, he's like, fucking shit.
I'm trying to think if I've watched anything else. I should have gone to this right after Spider-Man, but I've been reading the old John Michael Straczynski Spider-Man run from like 2000 till some fucking time, mid-2000s. Because it's always lauded as like one of the best runs, but it has some real low points. And I'd never read it all. I had a few issues as a kid, which whenever I got to, when I'm reading them now on Marvel Unlimited, because they're giving, you can get a free month right now, because they always line that up with their movies because they're smart.
Nice. I might do that.
So yeah, I've been reading that, and it's all good, except there was an issue about 9/11.
Oh.
Because it happened when they were making them, so they interrupted the story to do this whole thing. Not that it, like, I'm not saying it was in bad taste or anything. It's just, I'm sure at the time it may have been impactful and, like, important. But reading it now, I was like, this is fucking horrible.
Oh, God.
It's so, like, we stand together. No one will, like, stop our freedom. And, like, all this, like, super patriotic stuff. And I'm like, at the time, this would have been, inspiring and stuff, but so far removed from this, I was like, I don't know.
That was in a Spider-Man comic?
Yes. It's like it opens with Spider-Man swinging and seeing the fucking destroyed wreckage of the Twin Towers and people coming and being like, how did you let this happen? Where were you? And I was like, like that part, I was like, this is like powerful. This is good. Yeah. But then it just is like narration the entire time of all this overly patriotic stuff of standing together.
See, I feel like that would be a Cap speech.
Yes, he's there. And the other really dumb thing in it is it shows even the villains are all like fucking like crying and disgusted, and I'm like, why would Dr. Doom be crying?
Wouldn't he be like,
destroys
fuck
shit
yeah.
all the time?
Yeah.
It's little things like that. I was like, why? Like, these supervillains, sure, they wouldn't do anything on this scale maybe, but some do. And like Dr. Doom especially has done some horrible shit, I'm pretty sure.
They're evil bastards.
It's like, yeah, I get it's a comic book and stuff, but it was just super weird and out of place to me. Yeah, I think that's about all. I've been playing more Crash Bandicoot.
Yep, since we streamed that.
Yeah. It's a good time. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's fun.
A few weird things about it. Jumps don't feel right sometimes.
In number 1, I think they don't feel right.
And I saw that people analyzed it. And it's because it uses this like pill-shaped landing system, so that your character's shape is pretty much a pill in basic programming. So it's like rounded on the edges.
And if you land on an edge, you can still run up.
Slide off.
Oh, I find I can still run up.
Yeah, that can happen too.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Yeah,
it's just
fucking annoying.
Weird. And seems like something they could fix, and they should.
Yeah, it throws me off.
Yeah, but anything you wanted to add before moving on?
No. Just been playing Crash, watching Castlevania, watching Glow.
Oh, yeah, Glow's great. I watched all of that. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, Sierra and I are on episode 8, I think.
I didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
I would say that was the best. Just wrestling so dumb, and it's
it's so entertaining.
Just see, like, a show about that, which was an actual thing that happened, like the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
They put the documentary on Netflix. Cool. Yeah,
I should watch that too.
Yeah,
because I liked it a lot. Alison Brie's great and everything.
Mark Maron in that is awesome.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Man, yeah. Watch Glow, watch Castlevania, pretty much everything.
Yeah,
we've discussed. Check it out.
Yep. Alrighty, we'll move on to segment number 1, topics. Would you like to go first, or me?
Let's do yours first.
Sure. So I asked you, in the vein of Baby Driver, what are other movies that you can see the attention to detail and the passion like really put into these movies? Because after we left Baby Driver, we were like, damn, you can tell that was fucking he loved that. And yeah, so I asked you to just maybe find other ones that gave you that same feeling.
Well, okay, we'll get these out of the way at first, because it's just gonna be an Edgar Wright show otherwise. But both Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, I think, are really good.
Yeah,
especially with detail stuff like Shaun of the Dead, little things like when he goes into the convenience store, like doing that same day-to-day routine. There's like the bloody handprint and stuff, and then he slips. You don't see what it is, but you're just like, okay, it's blood, obviously, because of the handprint. There's a newscaster speaking in Indian on the radio that's saying in Indian, or I think it's Indian, that like the dead are coming back to life, but you can't, like, you don't know because it's Indian, like little things like that. And then when the cashier from the convenience store is coming at him as a zombie, he's holding his hand out for change. Yeah. Like, just little things like that, like bringing like tiny details. Edgar Wright just, I think, excels at that kind of stuff because he cares more like than most people ever would about stuff like that. Yeah, even enough to like get his own, like his transition shots, well, some may say are like very of the 2000s, like a super like whip pans.
Oh yeah,
all that stuff. It's just way more than anyone else would do to make stuff like that interesting. Like in Hot Fuzz, when he's just going to the country and it's like all those panning shots going out. Most directors would just like be like, send a B team to go take some shots of like a train moving and like boring shit. Yeah. And he just makes those things more exciting and detailed than anyone.
Oh, even if it's like a boring thing, he'll make it like funny because of his shots, like especially in Hot Fuzz, when it's like, and he excelled at this, and then it shows him on his bicycle. He pulls up.
But besides that, I have here, again, this just kind of became a list of some of my favorite movies. Boogie Nights is the first one that Paul Thomas Anderson really did his research, let's say, because to make sure all their dialogue sounded real when they were like making the fake pornos, he just watched old porn from the 80s a lot to get all the dialogue. Like, he took lines straight out of them to put in.
That's ridiculous.
And on the first day that he got all the actors together, he made them all do like somewhat of a competition, in quotes, to like compete in how bad they could act. And of course Julianne Moore was the best at it because she's just incredible. Like,
yeah,
everything when I was looking at stuff for Boogie Nights was like, yeah, Julianne Moore is just the best, by far, that she needed like no direction at all pretty much. And the other thing, like, again, to go into little things no one would really notice, is in the scene with Alfred Molina, the Jesse's girl and Sister Christian scene when the fireworks are going off with the kid, and Thomas Jane and them are all sitting there. They had Alfred Molina be wearing earbuds that were blaring the music playing so that he would never flinch to the fireworks, but everyone else would.
Nice.
So it would make him seem more like insane.
That's
and just
cool.
Like, you know, like, just again, another director who's really good at this is David Fincher, who pays attention to little details. Like, I always think of The Social Network. When they're talking in a club, they're actually yelling and talking at loud volumes, which so many movies don't fucking do, and it's so annoying.
Especially the first Matrix.
Yeah.
When she walks up to Keanu, and they're just like, "Hello." You can just hear like super loud techno just blasting.
It's just little things like that are always things that bug me personally, like especially audio stuff like that, because it's like, if you've ever been to a club, even just any like bar,
loud bar,
you cannot just talk at a normal volume. Do you have any that you want to do before I move on to my next one?
I was thinking, especially recently, Get Out. Just the level of attention to detail.
Yeah.
Is insane, and how everything wraps up so nicely. And then, like, even if you don't realize it while you're watching, and then after you get out, get out. After you get out of the movies or whatever, after you watch it, there's so many things. Like, the next 2 days, like 2 days after, I was like, oh shit, that's what that was. Yeah,
just tiny little like hints placed in that you would never think of until, again,
something.
I need to rewatch it whenever is it out.
I think so. Yeah,
I need to like get it and rewatch it to look for things, because that's definitely one that has a lot of good stuff jammed in there. My next one is from, I would say, the master of attention to detail and taking things too far with the attention to detail, just Stanley Kubrick.
Yep.
And The Shining specifically. You know the bar scene in The Shining? With Jack talking to the bartender?
Oh, yeah.
Want to know how long they rehearsed that? Take a guess.
A week.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Every day they would start at 9 a.m. and usually finish around 10:30.
Jesus Christ.
PM, by the way. So it wouldn't be an hour and a half. It would be all day.
Holy.
And the one, I don't know who it was, one of the crew members that was saying that every day, like by the end of the day, his clothes would just be like drenched in sweat from just like being under hot lights and doing this all day.
Has like Jack Nicholson ever been interviewed and someone be like, so how's working with Stanley Kubrick?
The little bit I have here that he has said was about the script and how the shooting script would be changed all the time. So like several times a day, Kubrick would just change shit on the fly.
Jesus.
So Nicholson would just throw out like scripts he would get early on because he'd know they would change. So he'd just start being like, fuck this. Like, it's not. But the person who has spoken about working with Kubrick is Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Specifically the scene where she's going at him with the bat. They did that so much. Like, her tears in that scene and her like going fucking delusional is like probably semi-real. which is just crazy. But yeah, she said that she was always like arguing with him, and that she actually became like sick from being overworked so much. And I think this is a thing that my one prof told me in school, is that the scene when she's just walking back into the house through the snow after jumping out the window with Danny, that they took that like 100 times over of her just walking.
Oh my God.
And it's like, yeah. So yeah, the whole like principal photography of the film took over a year, which is insane for a movie. It's usually like a couple months.
4 months shooting, and you're done.
And to take over a year to do that is crazy. Oh, that bat scene took over 127 takes, supposedly. But yeah, and that set the Guinness World Record for the longest amount of takes for a scene with spoken dialogue.
That's funny.
He's a perfectionist, I guess, and a lot of people say he's an asshole, and I don't doubt he was.
I bet he was.
Because he often, I'm pretty sure, said that actors are just tools,
and
that's all they are to him. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of a dick thing to say about a human being. Yeah. But, it's also rumored that he actually typed out individually every one of the all work, no play makes check, dull boy.
Oh wait, who? That Kubrick did that?
Yeah,
he just
every
sat
single one,
there.
And that's why there's like little mistakes and differences, because he wanted it to be like different.
Yeah. Or like the spacing's weird on one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so cool.
You got another one? Or?
No, I have.
Okay, well, I'll just bring up I don't have much for this one. I just wanted to say, I think as far as bigger budget movies go, the Lord of the Rings movies, I think, show an immense amount of passion and detail, especially in like armor designs and weapon designs, and like just like every bit of design in those movies is so meticulously planned and made to look beautiful. And this is where I took this a little further and thought about the opposite of this, which was movies that clearly did not have passion and were just phoned in, which brought me to the Hobbit movies.
Oh yeah,
it's such a clear difference when you could tell Peter Jackson really wanted to make those Lord of the Rings ones and really did not want to make the Hobbit ones, because those movies are fucking atrocious. Like,
number one's okay, right?
No. Well, parts of it are. Like, I would argue, like, I like Martin Freeman.
Yeah, I like Martin Freeman. Yeah, he's good.
But man, it's just so overstuffed with shit. I think already has been done a fan edit, like making all three into just one movie with just the stuff from the books.
Just the good stuff.
But yeah, man. That was like the main like phoned in shit. I also want to slightly bring up that I think another big budget studio thing that has decent attention to detail as far as like long term goes is the Marvel stuff, the cinematic universe stuff, especially with Spider-Man. A lot of their little things that they tied into the world with, for once, I think don't feel forced.
That's good.
And actually feel like it's just part of a world. And I was like, man, to just think that much about little things that you would never you would usually be like, oh, that would be cool if they did this, and then they do, is always a sign to me that it's like, okay, someone there gets it and cares enough to think about these little things.
Yeah.
And put these little Easter eggs in there that you notice, and you're like, oh shit, that's from whatever comic book. Oh man.
Yeah.
Like having Donald Glover be a Prowler, and it's like, it's literally
it's
like
who the fuck is that?
Yeah, just a tiny villain. But yeah, that's about all I have for this one. I don't know if you had any phoned in ones or anything, or
no phoned in ones for me.
Okay, so I guess we'll just move on to my topic then. Which my question this week was just simply to ask you, what inventions that have not yet been invented do you think should have been by now, or do you want to be invented? Just really anything. Sky's the limit here.
Okay, I'm starting big.
Okay.
Something that should be invented, but we clearly don't have the technology. Teleporters.
Yeah.
Get them up and running, for the love of God. Get that science working.
Well, I was going to say, like, to go with this, really anything to make travel easier. Or faster. Like, man.
But I will say, they'd be super expensive and I wouldn't use them.
Yeah.
But I want them to be invented so the prices of flights will go down.
That's
only
smart.
reason why I want them invented.
They would plummet because all the rich people would want to teleport. They wouldn't do first class anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's smart.
I got another one.
Okay.
This one's pretty small and specific, but I want like a pill or a shot
Okay.
that will make it so that when I sweat, it has a faint smell of not shitty stink. So like,
oh yeah,
you get a shot in like your armpits, because I think people do this thing where you can Botox your armpits so you don't sweat as much.
Yeah.
But just do it like Botox your pits with like a little bit of lilac scent so that when you sweat you don't smell so shitty.
Clearly the greatest invention to help mankind.
Right?
So wait, would this shot just last forever, or would you have to take a shot like every day?
No, we'll say it lasts like a month.
Okay.
And it'd be easier if
That's
it was
not
a
bad.
pill.
Yeah, a pill.
But the
wouldn't be
pill
bad.
would
Shots
taste
would
like
suck.
shit. You know, it would taste like you're just eating a
It would taste
perfume.
Like, yeah. I was gonna say the scent itself.
It would just be disgusting. Another one, like a flash freezer. Give me a freezer that I can put like water in and it's ice cubes immediately. I mean, I know that they already have the ice cube generators in fridges and shit, so whatever. But
that takes time.
Yeah,
if you were to
exactly.
use all those ice cubes, it would take a long time to make more.
I want to just have something, just a freezer on top of your normal freezer, a little box or some shit, or just a little compartment in your freezer that you just put things in. It's like frozen.
To go with that, why isn't there like the opposite, like a microwave or like oven that just cooks your food in like a second?
Yeah.
Like you just put like a frozen pizza in and click pizza and it's just like done.
That'd be awesome.
Because then you don't have to wait for anything. See, these fucking people are researching all this space bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, make life for us better here.
Yeah.
This important stuff.
Nerds. we also need automated cars.
Well, that's
like,
happening.
I mean, it's happening, but it should have been invented already.
It's
like
taking its time.
Yeah. Get it out here.
Because I was gonna say the obvious ones that are just too obvious, so who cares, is like flying cars or hoverboards or shit. Fuck that. Jetpacks would be cool, like a real jetpack.
Oh yeah, a
but
good one.
I would just fear killing myself. So I also have just more wireless shit. Everything should be wireless.
Yeah.
These fucking microphones, why aren't they wireless?
I do have universal Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Why aren't there fucking satellites just projecting Wi-Fi all over the
like
goddamn earth?
Shaw kind of has that Shaw Go thing that certain areas have.
Like Shaw, and then
Wi-Fi
everyone
can
connects
connect to,
who is with Shaw.
But it sucks.
Exactly. I have that. I'm at like the bus stop one time, and I'm trying to connect to something, and they're like 10 minutes to load like the front page of Reddit.
Yeah, it's quality.
Yeah, it's like what the
best.
Fuck? I also have some male birth control. How hasn't male birth control been invented or perfected already? I know it's in like trial.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
So
but like
shitty condoms.
Just make it better than female birth control. Just not one pill a day. Just do like a pill a week.
Because really all the pill would have to do would just like kill everything in all your sperm.
Just make your boy just become sterile for a week. That's what the pill does.
Yeah, exactly.
You just become sterile for a week. You're shooting blanks. Next week, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Just make it.
Make it simpler.
Just make it. A cell phone battery that doesn't die.
Yeah, okay. You wish. Any wireless thing. Like, it always sucks. That's why I always got mad when people would be like, the Switch only lasts 3 hours playing games. It's like, yeah, that's just the reality of it. Your phone only lasts 3 hours if you're doing shit on it. It sucks.
If I'm listening to music for 5 hours on my phone, it's like at 20%.
Yeah.
It's done.
I also love when phones just die when they're at like 13 or 15%. They just turn off and you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. Apple,
like,
you fucks.
Okay. What else? I got, in Canada specifically, because I know it already exists, why don't we have the veggie burger at McDonald's in Canada? Why is...
Well, in North America at all. That's only in, like Israel and places that don't eat beef.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because of religious shit.
Mm-hmm. But still.
Yeah, really any places that don't is weird. Because even, like, when Wendy's started introducing theirs, that isn't even nationwide yet. Like, all their ads for it were like, hey, it's just kind of, if you don't feel like meat today, you don't have to be vegetarian or nothing. It's like, hey, if you're just feeling different, and it's like, yeah, that's all you need it for. Like,
yeah,
it's not like a fucking stance here. It's just, get some good vegaburgers.
Yeah.
Though I don't know how good McDonald's is.
Man, I don't even care. Like,
just when you want like a shitty thing, but not too shitty.
Like, it's bad. Because across from my work is literally just across the street is a McDonald's, and if I wake up too early and I don't make my lunch or whatever, I just walk over to McDonald's and get like a wrap or some shit. But sometimes I just like a fucking like veggie burger, because now when I eat red meat it kills me. I'm like, I still eat it, but not as often.
I got a couple here that are all cosmetic stuff.
I also have a few, yeah.
So, you know, in the Jimmy Neutron movie...
Okay, fuck. No, I don't.
When he has the thing that goes over his hair and it just changes his hairstyle?
Yes.
Or, like, cuts it however? I want that. I want to just be able to, like, in the morning be like, I want this hair, and it just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Make it happen. And then to go with that, in the show Psycho-Pass, so they pretty much have, like, an AI-controlled room that... like your clothes are pretty much just projected on you, like how they look. So it would be like, obviously you wouldn't be naked, you'd put on like a plain like white t-shirt and like white shorts or pants or whatever, and then you just pick what you want projected on it.
Because I did the same thing. I even called it I called this something, the closet collection. Where you basically have a large closet as a wall, and then instead of like mirrored walls, they're like touch screens. Yep. And you just like select what clothes you want, what color you want, and
sweet.
What accessory, and then they would just like pop out. Yeah. And you'd put them on, or like that you would wear these like plain
have a
like a bodysuit or something.
Technology.
Yeah.
It's easy. Make it. But it's also, I think it's in Psycho-Pass where it can also like do that to your like room, so you can be like, I want these walls today. Yeah. And change it. And also to go with that, I want real VR, not this fucking shitty VR they're putting out now. I want like Sword Art Online.
You want to go in and
meld your brain into the fucking game.
So you want to like put on this headset, lie in bed, make yourself a potato for 5 hours. Yeah. Me too. I want that.
I don't know how actually, because I just feel like that would be cool. VR now is just like, I can waggle some stuff around and throw it in a game, and it's like, that's kind of cool, I guess, but there's so much limits.
Well, shooting gallery.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to do. Shoot zombies.
Not move around, but shoot at things with a weird floaty gun.
Yeah, just project me in a world. Again, simple. I want to be like, you know, the movie Gamer with Gerard Butler, where they control ex-convicts. I want to do that.
What a dumb movie. Fuck.
It's a great movie.
Also, I haven't like I don't I'm not saying I personally want this, but why haven't like sex robots?
Oh, did you see that Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever for that blowjob robot?
What? So it's happening.
It's literally just like, it looks terrifying because if this thing glitched out, your dick would be gone. Like, it's just like a piston moving, like, and you can like change the speed, so it's just like a machine going really fast, but it has this silicone head with like a hair wig on it, and it's this terrifying looking face. That's just its mouth open.
That's so
but it's
scary.
Just a prototype, so they could make it look better. They could make it look better. But then like just showing like how people could use it, and they're like, and you can make it go up to like 5,000 RPM or whatever. It like shows it going, and you're like, Jesus, no.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Japan would have gotten on that already.
Yeah.
Their
they'll get
culture just loves sex.
See, and then you couple that with VR, with all this VR porn they're doing now.
And get haptic suits.
Mhm.
Get haptic suits invented or perfected.
Yeah, I want a haptic suit so that when I get shot in a video game, it feels like,
You're getting shot in real life. That'd be so fun.
Would you do that? Just to see how it feels, like if there was like this is how it feels to be shot, like just like you would have like be in no real danger. It would just like.
I think if like they had a thing that also like dumbed down your like ability to be shocked.
Yeah.
Like if I got shot, I'd go into shock and be like, Jesus fucking Christ, like this hurts so bad, my God.
Yeah.
So I'd do it if they could get rid of my shock, so I didn't have a heart attack or freak out or. Yeah, I'd do it and screw it.
Just to see.
Why not?
It's like when you see people that get tased in real life, just to know, and I'm like, God, why would you?
Why?
Why?
Yeah,
That would
that'd
be the worst.
awful.
I'd probably like shit myself.
I would piss and shit myself. Speaking of like the also Closet Collective, going back to that.
Yep.
Also another one I'm thinking of, like a makeup thing. If you just like Jimmy Neutron machine, it would just like a mask would go over your face and just
like the Simpsons makeup shotgun that he makes.
Yeah.
Just shoots Marge in the face.
Exactly. Why isn't
Anything
there a
like that.
makeup shotgun?
Yeah. Anything just makes shit simpler. Like if I
Yeah.
same with like a shaving thing like that could just like instantly shave me.
That would be awesome because I fucking hate shaving.
Yeah.
And it's not like because I can grow out a good beard or anything. I can't at all. It's just because it's like, this is like 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it's so boring.
that I have to take. Like, I'm so goddamn lazy.
Yeah.
So you know my scruff's going to come in. It's going to look like garbage. And I just can't bother. Give me a goddamn shaving robot.
Man.
I don't know if I have anything else.
Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of just like convenience stuff. Let's make those tubes from Futurama so I don't have to walk.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because I expect just the way things are going, everyone to soon be like Wall-E people. Like they're all just fat and just in
floating
hover
chairs.
Yeah. Just never have to move. That's the real way to do it. The real way. Yeah. That's about it for that topic then, I think.
Mm-hmm. Move on to segment number 2. It writes itself. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. This is segment number 2. It writes itself. This is where I give Mikey, and Mikey gives me a genre and an actor, and we pitch our movie topics to Hollywood execs, the top dogs.
And they definitely take us seriously.
Of course
or they better.
They're listening.
Okay, let's get you a genre. Spin the wheel. It is. That's too... No. Sorry, that was just like super... It was a broad one. That was
broad one.
Okay, here we go. A werewolf romance film.
Okay. Werewolf romance.
Starring Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Wow.
That's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
There.
So, Sarah Michelle Gellar is now on Food Network.
Okay.
So, this is... Well, it's fucking... Well, a slight meta here.
Yep. Okay.
The movie is based on Sarah Michelle Gellar's actual life.
Okay.
So, it starts with her. I think she does, like, dumb baking stuff now. So,
like
Sarah Michelle Gellar teaching this audience how to bake. Blah, blah. This is, you set the fucking oven to 450 and you, yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar, yeah. And she gets off the taping or whatever and it's like, oh, thanks everyone. Yeah, well, and then, or no, at the end of her thing, she's like, and be careful all you out there. It's gonna be crazy full moon on Saturday. And then like the audience is like, oh. And then anyway, it ends. And the producer's like, oh, a good full moon bit. That was funny. That was good. That was good. She's like, thanks, Sam. And Sam's like, hey, you were talking to... Oh, Sam. Who's Sam played by? Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And Zach Galifianakis is like, I heard you were talking with like Erica about how you were like, you're just tired of being single, you know? And I think I can set you up with someone if that's okay. And she's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll see you tomorrow. He's like, okay, whatever. Think about it. She gets home and she like looks at the weather, and it's just like her staring at the weather forecast because the weatherman's like, full moon, everyone. Remember, things are gonna get crazy. And she's just like, and then so she goes back to Food Network, does her next episode, and she sees Zach Galifianakis talking with this like super handsome, super charming, played by Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, hey, like, who's this? And he's like, oh, this is Aaron. Remember I like briefly mentioned him yesterday? Remember? And she's like, oh, hey, I'm Sarah Michelle Gellar.
She plays herself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Sarah Michelle Gellar. He's like, oh, I know. Chris Hemsworth doesn't play Chris Hemsworth in this. And Sarah Michelle Gellar's like, also, like, what do you do? He's like, I'm an actor. Very meta.
Oh, okay.
And they shoot the shit, and it's like, they actually like find they're getting along, and Sarah Michelle Gellar's like, this is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And full moon's on Saturday, so it's not
Okay.
Friday. And Chris Hemsworth was like, okay, I'll be honest. Zach, what's his name? Sam said that you would like to go out with me or whatever. And she's like, oh shit, pretty forward. Sure, I'll do it. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. How about tomorrow night? And she's like, oh fuck, tomorrow night? No, I don't think I can. And he's like, okay, weird. And she just like runs off.
Okay.
And then so Sarah Michelle Gellar gets home. She chains herself in like her bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And then she turns into the werewolf, and it cuts away. And then just she wakes up like on her couch naked, and then on the TV
for some nudity reason, here.
What's that?
Full nudity.
Full nudity.
Okay.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. This is a hard R. And and the TV's on for some odd reason, and she's watching the news, and the guy's like, 3 gruesome murders in the park last night, and people were torn to shreds, and authorities are saying it's a bear attack in the middle of Manhattan.
As often happens.
Yeah, it's common. If you've ever been to Manhattan, you'd know. So she goes into work, and she does her thing or whatever. Chris Hemsworth is there, and he's like, listen, I'll take you out, and tonight, how about that? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, okay, you know what? Yeah, sorry, I was feeling a little off, but I'm down. I'm good for it. So they go out, and whatever, they have a great time. And it's like, God, Chris Hemsworth, you're such a ridiculously good-looking guy. And then he's like, yeah, well, you're Sarah Michelle Gellar. And then it's like, fast forward months. And they're like, it's like a taping of Sarah Michelle Gellar's show, Baking Person.
Baking Person.
That's what it's called. Baking Person. And she's like, blah, 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 put in the whatever. And Sam's like, great. And Chris Hemsworth is there. And Chris Hemsworth is like, oh, great show, babe. Let's go tonight. We'll go out. And she's like, okay. And then then they go out, and they're at this like fancy restaurant. It's nice and quiet. Mm-hmm. And then they sit down, and then they're like, oh, I'll order a spaghetti. They're at Rivoli's Raviolis.
Yeah.
And they sit down, and then Chris Hemsworth is like, they always say crazy shit happens on a full moon, but not much is happening tonight. Oh. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's a full moon tonight. Usually, like, people are going crazy, And she's like, it's a full moon to... Sorry. Something in my... And he's like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I just gotta go to the bathroom. And she, like, trips over a chair and falls in the ground. She's like, God, get away from me. Get away from me. Chris Evans is like, okay, God. Like, jeez. And then she's like, and she like explodes. And that's how she changes. Okay. She just explodes into like a gruesome, fleshy...
her skin just explodes off.
Flies on patrons' faces who as they're eating and stuff. They're watching this unfold.
Yeah.
And she's like this giant, gross, like, muscly, weird, long-snouted werewolf. And then Chris Hemsworth's like, Jesus Christ! And she just like starts tearing people apart. And then Chris Hemsworth like runs outside. And then he comes back after it's all like mangled, like, and like people had like locked the door. And then so Sarah Michelle Gellar's just like going ham, eating people, tearing them apart. And then Chris Hemsworth comes back. He unlocks the door, and he's got like a big grin on his face. And she's like, turns to him, and he's like, I've actually been waiting for this moment. And he whips out like a fucking gun from his coat, his jacket pocket, because he's in a cool suit, of course. It's Chris Hemsworth. And so he whips out this gun. He's like, and she's like jumping around everywhere, and they have this sick fight. And then it's like this fight goes on all night. It's a romance movie, so it doesn't show the action. It's like Godzilla fucking cuts away, and everyone's like, God damn it! I just want to see it. Anyway, and then it cuts, and it's like Chris Hemsworth is out of bullets, and she's still a werewolf, and she goes to charge at him, and she's like, ugh, and then like shrinks down into Sarah Michelle Gellar size. And then she's like, my God, I'm so sorry. Get away from me, please. And he's like, you don't remember anything, do you? And he's got like a gun to her head. And she's like, what the hell? And he's like, I'm a werewolf hunter. And then she's like, no. And he's like, but let me tell you something. I've never been more turned on in my life. And she's just like, oh, what? And he's like, yeah. Let's get married.
What?
And then shut up, Mikey. And he's like, yeah, let's get married. It makes sense, okay?
They just have sex right there in the
on top
restaurant.
Of like these like fucking bloodied bodies. They're just like banging. And it's just full penetration, like sorry, not hard R. This is like NC-17. And then it like ends with them two like sitting on the couch, and then Chris Hemsworth is like, looks like it's a full moon tonight, and then she's like, go get him, Beeb, as she like clips on her handcuffs. So she's okay with him murdering other werewolves as long as she doesn't murder him.
Oh, okay.
The end.
I thought when he pulled out the gun, he'd be like, my real name is Van Helsing.
That would have been better.
And it's part of the dark universe.
Oh my fucking God. Hold on. Back this shit up. Mikey just saved this. He goes back and he says that line, and then it's a big... Sarah Michelle Gellar plays Wolfman, but it's not Wolfman. It's
like
Wolfwoman.
Gender swap the mummy.
Gender swap the mummy. Gender swap the Wolfman. Fuck yeah.
But what's the title?
Oh, well, it can't be Wolfwoman.
No.
It'll be I was gonna say it's like some Little Red Riding Hood pun on like the big bad wolf, but nothing works here. How about like big bad baking wolf?
Well, it should be a romantic sound.
Oh yeah, shit, romance. Right. It'll be like crap. It's hard to come up with like a romance title for like The Beast in Me or
Big Bad Love.
Big Bad Love, yeah, or Hairy Love.
Hairy Love.
Big Bad Hairy Love. That's what it's called.
Sure to be classic in the dark universe. Big Bad Hairy Love.
There's like The Mummy, Invisible Man, Frankenstein's Bride, or Bride of Frankenstein, and then Big Bad Hairy Love. That's how the announcer says it in the trailer too.
Yeah.
It's like, in its Big Bad Hairy Love.
Holy shit.
Okay. Are you ready for yours?
Yep, let's do this.
Spinning. Oh, fuck, that's way too... Why is that in there? That's so broad.
Good old broad ones.
Okay. Body swap movie.
Oh, okay.
With... Oh, what? No, we just did him. You got Quentin.
Oh, god damn.
So, we'll do not Quentin Tarantino. Oh, you get Angelina Jolie.
Okay, who does she... Give me another one for who she body swaps with.
And she body swaps with Dave Franco.
Okay, I got this. Actually, give me a relationship.
Okay, a relationship. Principal and teacher.
Okay, so Dave Franco, he's a cool college kid. He's hanging out with his friends. But, you know, he doesn't always go to class. He's a cool guy. He gets high instead, goes to parties, fucking slams puss. He's just going out there every night on the scene. Everyone knows him. He's the coolest guy on campus. They're who they go to if they want a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But the principal... Mrs. Bitchley.
Okay, so
played by Angelina Jolie. She's not cool with that. She's like, this kid's ruining this school's reputation. We were known to have the best students.
Yeah.
And this little fucker is screwing it all up. So she brings him into the office and she's like, you listen here. If your grades don't improve, you're fucking expelled. Okay? She swears at him too.
Yeah,
She's like,
of course.
You're fucking out of here, okay? And he's like, I don't care. I just want to get high and shit. And she's like, no, okay? You can't just keep getting high like this. Why'd you even come to college? He's like, I came to party, dude. And then she's like, yeah, God, no. What? No. And then she's like, listen, you will improve, or so help me God. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then he's like, I don't need this. And he just walks out.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, God, what am I going to do? So then she's like walking home that night. And a mysterious figure is like standing on the sidewalk. And he's like, got problems at your school, huh? She's like, what's it to you? How do you know that? And he's like, I can help for a price.
Oh.
And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, just tell me if you want your little Jacob, that's his name,
Dave.
Jacob problem fixed. She's like, yeah, I do, but just leave me alone, okay? He's like, okay then. And then she's walking away and she turns around and then he's just gone.
Oh.
So she just goes to bed that night. Wakes up the next morning. She's like, oh God. Like gets out of bed, walks, and it's the classic walk up to the mirror and she's like, what? Double takes, and she's like, oh God, oh, I'm checking. And she looks down at her dick and she's like, right. Oh no, it's true. How did this happen? And then Jacob's roommate, played by Evan Peters,
nice,
is like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He's just like it's like one of those college dorm rooms with just the two beds.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh my God, nothing. Shouldn't we be getting to class? And he's just like, what? Class? What the fuck are you talking about? I thought we could smoke some of this fucking sick ass weed, bro. And he's like, what? You can't have that in here. We could get in trouble. And then over the intercom, right when Evan Peters is like, what the fuck are you and then on the intercom it's like, well, Jacob Michaels come down to the principal's office, please? And he's like, oh, dude, you're so screwed.
Does that, at college? Does that even ever happen?
Well, it does, or sorry, she'd be the dean or whatever.
Yeah. The dean's office.
Principal. But yeah, so he gets called in. And then Angelina Jolie's like, dude, what the fuck is going on here? I woke up with these fucking big ass titties and I don't know what's going on. He's like, by the way, they're pretty nice. Yeah. And she's like, stop looking at my body, you little pervert.
It's funny. Sorry, it's funny because this is legit like the lines that would be in this movie.
She's like, I swear to God, if you look at that again. And he's like, oh, please. You wish you could get someone as hot as me. And then she's like, oh yeah? Well, how will you like it when I start getting you better grades and fucking on the honor roll? And he's like, what? No, that'll ruin my reputation.
As
you can't
a party
do that.
Man.
Yeah. So then it's like, no, we got to make a compromise here. You have to still go out and party while still getting decent grades. They come to a compromise.
Okay, yeah.
So then it's just pretty much Angelina Jolie in his body having to like learn how to be young and party because she was always like a stuffy old bitch, obviously Mrs. Bitchley.
Yeah.
So the Mrs. Bitchley is what all the students call her. She's actually Mrs.
Berkeley.
Yeah. So yeah, she has to like learn. So she's like going to parties and she's like, oh man, she's like so awkward, like standing in the corner. They're like, dude, come on, do this keg stand. And they like turn him over and she's like,
what the fuck, David?
Dude, you did like 5 of these the other day. She's like, yeah, sorry, I just I'm not feeling too well today. And they're like, oh, we'll smoke some of this kush and you'll be better. And she's like, okay. And just all like awkward coughing. And they're
hilarious.
Like, oh. And she's like, I just got to go out. And she walks to the kitchen. There's just kids doing lines of cocaine off the table. She's like, stop that. Stop right now. And they're like, what? Oh, you want some, dude? And she's like, oh, no. But then she ends up getting peer pressured into it.
Yeah.
Because she can't not look the part. They'll suspect something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So then eventually, this keeps going on. She gets super high that night and just ends up like fucking stumbling home and having a good time. She has fun with Evan Peters. And then turns out she starts enjoying this college life too much and doesn't want to change back. And the semester's coming up. And she knows that'll be it. They'll switch back. Mm-hmm. I don't know how she knows this. She gets a letter or like an email being like,
yeah, letters are too personal.
From this devil figure that's like, the curse will unveil itself after the graduation ceremony. So then kids start suspecting that Jacob's banging the principal. They're like, why are you always going to her office, bro? What are you doing? You getting some of that hot dean puss? And he's like, no, I swear, I'm just getting in trouble a lot. And they're like, dude, you've been acting weird for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
I think we need some proof that you're not banging her. What are you really doing in there? And so they put a wire on it. And he's like, oh no. And then he's like trying to like signal. He's like, I got what?
Yeah.
And then so then everyone just thinks they're fucking crazy and want him to party more. They think he's been doing too much drugs.
Yeah.
And that's
they've fried his mind.
Should probably cover what Jacob's been doing in her body.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been kind of like feeling his tits a lot, like having fun, going out to like bars because now he's legal drinking age, so he can go out.
Nice.
And drink at places. So he's been getting like wasted. But then he gets stuck in a situation where this dude at a bar is like trying to get with him, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm cool." But then he ends up being brought home, and it's just him like. No, so that gets a little too far, I think.
Yeah, we'll stop that one there.
He gets out of that. The guy's like, nah, I insist you come back to my place. He's like, no, please, no. And the guy's getting super like rapey and gross, and he's like, no, just get that. And then he fucking throws his drink at him, and he's like, oh, fuck you, bitch. God, no wonder they call you Miss Bitchley.
And she's like, oh.
So then he realizes what it means to be a woman of power. And then after graduation comes, the day before graduation, they switch back and wake up. And then he's like, but wait. What are my grades? And then he checks. And they're like D's.
They're garbage.
He's still passed. Just barely. And he's like, nice. That's better than last year.
Nice.
Won't have to do summer school this time. And then Mrs. Bitchley's like, calls him to the office one last time. She's like, so I got you through, but I just want you to know that these last few months have been some of the greatest times of my life.
They've been tubular.
When I was in college, I was too concentrated on getting good grades and stuff, and I never had time to party like you. And he's like, yeah, whatever, Miss Bitchley. Go fuck yourself. I'm out of here. So he's learned nothing throughout this experience.
No.
It seemed like he was the entire film.
The entire time. He's really thinking, he's like, God, this is how it is, huh?
Yeah. And then he's just like, whatever. I'm going to be fucking going and working some shitty factory job. And she's like, what? And he's like, by the way, thanks for sending me all those nude photos of you. And she's like, what? And Jesus. It's like the site paid a lot for them. And there's then she like looks at this site. It's like hotteachers.com.
Right. And
she's like, that little. And then he graduates. Her life is miserable still. They really just nothing. She had good times though.
Right.
She has been like, so then she starts to like go out with people more,
loosen up a bit more.
She loosens up a bit, has more fun events at the school, isn't such a bitch. But he's just gone and being a.
But he's an asshole.
Yeah, he's still just an asshole.
He's some little prick.
Still just doing drugs all the time.
Well, I can see Dave Franco as a little prick. He just looks the part.
And it will be called. Man, this one's hard. I'm trying to think of what body swap movies are called.
We got like Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Or, what's that one with Jason Bateman and?
It'll be called Get Schooled.
Yeah. Good one. Get schooled.
Because they both get schooled in
What's
their
like,
own way.
What's like the front cover of the poster? They're like leaning back to back, looking at each other like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
pretty much. They're like,
Any Matthew McConaughey movie.
It would either be that or like both of them back facing with a mirror. But see, so it's like Dave Franco's back and Angelina Jolie's back, but in their reflection, Angelina Jolie's Dave Franco.
Shit.
Dave Franco's Angelina Jolie.
That's awesome. Good.
And both their faces are like, what? Get Schooled. Coming next summer.
Yep. It'll be such a hit.
We haven't had a body swap movie in a while.
Yeah. We need more body swap
Besides
movies.
Your Name.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen it yet, but yeah.
Which was really good.
Soon. I'm sure I'll
whenever they release
legally acquire that sometime.
Never. Completely illegally good. But yeah, that's our pitches for this week.
Yep, that was It Writes Itself. Oh, this has been the Bottom Shelf Episode Podcast in number 5.
The fuck was that?
In number 5.
You're going dyslexic almost. You're like, that Bottom Shelf Episode Podcast.
Oh, yeah, well.
That's what it's called now.
So
We're mixing it up. You're dyslexic Eddie or whatever. Whatever my character was last week.
Dyslexic. That's me now.
Any closing comments or thoughts?
Closing comments, thoughts. Watch Castlevania. It's cool.
And then short, so.
Watch Glow. It's awesome. It's funny. It's entertaining.
Yeah, I'm always annoyed to see the ads for Glow, and it's like, from the producer of Orange is the New Black. And I'm like, it's so much better than Orange is the New Black ever was. Alison Brie's actually a likable protagonist.
Yeah. God, there's so much like secondhand embarrassment that happens.
Yeah, it's great.
Just like, Jesus.
It's real
Christ.
good. You see Alison Brie topless. I mean,
it's like,
it's a win.
It's a win. Yeah, it's a win-win.
Plus, it's just fucking funny and well produced and done. And man, the last episode's great. You're gonna like it a lot.
Good. Alrighty.
Yeah. Also see Spider-Man. If
Which
you
I
can.
will see.
It's real good. You will not be disappointed. Like, I was super surprised by it. I expected very little from it. So maybe, go in with moderate expectations. You'll enjoy it.
I'm gonna think it's the greatest movie ever going in.
Yeah, and then you'll come and be like, what the fuck was that?
Alrighty, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, at Bottom Shelf Cast or Bottom Shelf Podcast. We're pretty easy to find, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 5 episodes, so
many. What is that, like a little over a month now?
Yeah. Alrighty, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.
See ya.
Bye.